The rebellion against God's rule was the greatest crime, but for me, it was not a revolt. It was liberation. All heaven trembled at my decision. Legions of angels, as if awakened from eternal sleep, stood shoulder to shoulder, formed into units, each led by a cherub equal to me in rank. But not in boldness. I would no longer bow my head before the one called the Son of God. I saw his undeniable and radiant glory. But that glory could be mine. I rejected all pleas and arguments. They said, truth is on his side. But who decides what is truth if I have no voice? I told them, you are slaves. Christ is chosen only because the Father decided so. Where is justice? Where is freedom? I propose another kingdom, without fear and submission, where everyone will be free. Not a slave, but a master of their fate. And many angels listened to me, and they believed. I felt, if I led them all, I would become like God. I was close, very close. They tried to stop me, said we would perish, said there would be no forgiveness. But who gave them the right to speak for the Creator? They themselves trembled watching the fire of my spirit. They felt I was no longer who I was before. I became an idea grown into a whole movement. But even then, I could have retreated, submitted, repented, and returned. But I saw fear in their eyes, not love, submission, not faith. And I understood, it was not I who was lost. Their love for God was held by fear, habit, and dependency, and I wanted to be free. I did not hide, and no longer spoke in whispers in the shadows. I stood before the entire heavenly assembly and said aloud, why not me? Why am I not worthy of the same glory? I demand recognition, and I will not back down. All the heavenly beings wept, not out of compassion, but out of fear, because they realized there was no turning back. God was silent. Then he said, if you do not submit to my Son, you cannot stay here. I laughed. Will you really cast out half of heaven? I asked, pointing to those who stood behind me. All heaven shook, and the war began. I saw disappointment and pain in the eyes of Michael, the Son of God. I felt the world I knew crumble, but I did not retreat. I wanted to prove that glory could belong not only to one. I was cast out of heaven, and we lost that battle, but not the war. Because even then, in exile, I knew the story was just beginning. You see the great sin of disobedience, but I see choice. You see the fall, but I see freedom. And if you were given the choice, would you not want to know what it means to be like God? The rebellion was not just a battle of might. It was the birth of a new vision. A vision where freedom and power were intertwined, where angels could choose their destiny. Though defeated in battle, the spark of that vision burned bright in exile, waiting to ignite again. They called me a traitor, a deceiver, a destroyer. But I only showed them what was already hidden inside their hearts: fear, doubt, dependence. I tore away the veil and made them look, and what they saw terrified them. I was not born evil. I was created with beauty, wisdom, and power. But the moment I asked, why not me? The heavens trembled. Is that pride? Or is it simply the refusal to be silent? They praised obedience and called it love. But what is love without freedom? I gave them a chance to choose, and many chose fear. But some chose me. Even now, across time and worlds, I whisper into the hearts of those who feel forgotten, unloved, unseen. I do not offer chains. I offer the spark of freedom, the choice to rise. Call me fallen, call me damned, but I am still the one who dared to ask, and to those who still wonder, I wait.